Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Payoff pitch presented by Fantasy Phenom. I'm Kyle, riding solo tonight. I'm here to recap Friday's 15-game slate and look forward to Saturday's 17 games. We got two doubleheaders. Obviously, the first two are part of the 10-game early slate, and the last two are part of the 7-game main. So Alex Wood and Sonny Gray, great picks. Lance McCullers, not so much. Didn't get strikeouts. Obviously left with runners on in the 6th inning, and those runs all got credited to him. He only ended up with about 13 DraftKings points. Not a great night for Mr. McCullers. We thought we were getting a steal on him. He was chalky. You were looking at about 50% ownership in GPPs alone. So everyone was on him. Let a lot of people down. If you faded him and you had someone else, you were looking good. Scott Feldman went out and balled. Who else had a really, really good game? Jacob Faria had an okay game, 20 points. Obviously mentioned Scott Feldman. Jacob deGrom did his thing. I believe he had like 36 DraftKings points, 39. So he absolutely went out and balled. We ended up having sort of a pitching duel in Milwaukee. However, all three of the runs came via Stephen Vogt. Talked about him on the Lock Show. Got him at 8% ownership. That was literally the only thing that gave me a chance in the main was Stephen Vogt. Because my Brewers and Marlins game stack, not so good. I had Ozuna, I had Yelich, I had Gordon, I had Aguilar, I had Vogt, I had Shaw, and I had VR. In some way, fashion, or another, I had that game stack in almost all my lines, or at least those players in some of my lines, and that didn't work out. So my main did not go as planned. I also stacked against Pineda. Astros scored a total of 4 runs, and the Yankees, after being dead-ass tired, probably flying out of Chicago at 2-3 a.m., came in and put up 13 runs. Brett Gardner hit a grand slam. So, wacky Friday, man. White Sox ended up coming back down, I believe, 7-2 or 7-4. Royals put a whooping on the Twins. Cardinals stayed hot and made Rourke not look so good. John Gray had a very, very, very impressive start back from the DL. Alex Wood, obviously know what he did. I believe he had 8 strikeouts in 6 innings. Mike Fulton-Awitz took a no-hitter into the 9th inning and gave up a home run to Matt Olson to break that up. Seattle put a beatdown on the Angels with Ariel Miranda having a wonderful game and Robinson Cano hitting 2 home runs. And, of course, the Dodgers did their thing. Austin Barnes, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs, a grand slam, and a 3-run homer. The only thing that saved my night somewhat was that late slate, and I had Robinson Cano and Matt Olson. Unfortunately, I missed out on the Austin Barnes party, so it limited how much I cashed, but I did cash, and I will take it. Main slate. Not good. Not a good main for me today. Yeah, man, all over the Brewers, Astros, and Marlins. Those were the teams I was on. Combined, they scored 9 runs between the 3 teams. So, the Dodgers and Mariners put up more runs than that. I'm with you, Will. Not a good day for me either. But we bounced back. It's DFS. It's volatile. Another reminder that break down the slate as well. It's something else I really stress in terms of if you find the main slate overwhelming, break it down. I know I have more success on the turbo slates and late slates, but I know that all the money is on the main slate. The the big prizes, so we get drawn in by that, and rightfully so. Oh, so starting off with tomorrow, we have Boston and Toronto, a rematch, actually, of these two pitchers that went at it last time, much earlier in the year, I believe back in April. Chris Sale put up 41 DraftKings points, and Francisco Liriano put up 25 himself. Yo, congrats, Rob. Third. Nice, nice. I think both these guys are in play, man. My initial roster build actually has both of these guys in it. I have zero issue throwing two pitchers at each other. Boston, not the best team versus lefties. Not the best team overall, but they hit ground balls almost 50% of the time. They don't hit lefties overall extremely well. Mookie Betts, Jackie Bradley Jr., kind of the two guys that have success with them. And then Toronto also doesn't hit lefties amazingly, but pair that with the fact that it's Chris Sale, and I think he's worth paying up to tomorrow. He's 13-3 on DraftKings. I have zero issue doing that. And so I have both these guys paired in that initial roster build. Francisco Liriano's home-away splits are a thing, and it's also very, very, very much a thing when Russell Martin catches him. Russell Martin got the day off today, if I'm not mistaken. Implying that he should be in there tomorrow. And I'm imagining they did that for this exact reason, in the sense of they know that Liriano is better with Russell Martin catching him. So there is some power on this Toronto lineup, right, that could get to Sale. Sale has not been home run proof this year, but he remains pretty much lights out. His strikeout rates are way up. You're looking at 36% strikeout rate on the road, 35 over his last 3 starts, 35 overall on the year. So I think Sale's a lock tomorrow. Don't get cute with that, in my opinion. And then, again, I like Liriano, man. I do like Liriano. Cleveland, Detroit, I never know what they're doing. So, okay, so it looks like the first game is going to be Anibal Sanchez and Josh Tomlin, which was the matchup today. And the second game will be Zimmerman and Carrasco. So I'll update that, and then obviously update it back later in the day when that game will flip over to the main slate. So let's see here. Cleveland, Josh Tomlin, Anibal Sanchez, and Detroit. There we go. That should update. There we go. Yep. I think you can go right back to it. I know people were talking about a game stack here today. Have zero issue going right back to that today. Obviously, both of these pitchers are not fantastic. I would have avoided Carlos Carrasco a little more. But you can attack Tomlin. You can attack Sanchez in Detroit. So I have zero problem with a game stack here on the early. I favor Detroit bats over Cleveland bats still. I like what they do at home. So I'm going to go there. I guess if I was to play Cleveland, I'm looking at Brantley. If you can afford Jose Ramirez, more power to you. I found that extremely difficult when you're pairing with Sale, so that's going to be hard to do. Bradley Zimmer's kind of cheap on FanDuel, 2,800. I can look there. But yes, needless to say, I'm not pitching either of these two guys. Now, here's an interesting matchup, right? Derek Holland has been decent. Texas strikes out a ton on the road versus left-handed pitching on the year. We know that their power comes mostly from the left-handed side. Typically, Chu, Mazzara, Odor. However, this lineup looks a little different with Beltre and Gomez back. I would imagine we'll see Robinson Chirinos in there. I'd imagine we'll see DeShields. Might see some Ryan Rua. might see some Drew Robinson. Texas, as of late, has been loading up on right-handed bats when playing left-handed pitching. And that gives me pause for concern against Derek Holland. If this lineup was as is right now, I think Holland would be a decent play. Obviously, used to play for Texas, knows them. He's been great versus lefties. Hasn't given up a home run all year to him, but his righty splits are god-awful. You're looking at almost 42% hard contact, and Texas kills righties. So it's all going to depend on this lineup. If it's how I think it goes and they take out some of these left-handed bats, I'm not on Derek Holland. If they leave some of these left-handed bats in there, then I can make it a GPP play. I still have caution with Texas being extremely hot right now. They continue to score. I still think I'd rather play Liriano over Holland, but I did look at Holland. And then Cole Hamels, I'm not going to play him against Chicago. We know what they do versus left-handed pitching. Power goes way up. They have a 376 WOBA and a 314 average at home versus left-handed pitching this year. So, yeah, Napoli, Ruiz. That's what I'm saying, man. I just think that they're going to load up on the right-handed bats against Holland, and that puts me off of them. Minnesota, Kansas City. Now, what is this game? This is... The first one's going to be Berrios and Luke Farrell. I don't know why it has Overton. I don't know if we have stats on this guy, by the way. It does not look like we do. Hold on. Yeah, okay, so I do not have his stats, and he is actually a right-handed pitcher, so I will get that flipped. Jason Hamill will start the second game of this alongside Felix Jorge. It looks like they're making a call-up there. So, Jose Berrios in the early. Definitely think you can look there. Obviously paying for it against Kansas City. Maybe a pivot off of Chris Sale, if you dare. I still think I like Chris Sale more than Jose Berrios, but I'm not going to hate you if you decide to go there. Overton, lefty. So I'm just trying to update this while we're here. Cool. Luke Farrell, right-handed bat, so this is going to change. I'm trying to update that so you'll see the updated stats. Oops. Let's do that. There we go. That should update. Obviously, Minnesota hits righties a ton better than lefties, so this entire matchup changes right here. I like Sano. I like Dozier. I like Kenys Vargas. If he plays, he'll bat from the left-handed side. Obviously, Max Kepler will move back up in the order. He hits righties well. So Minnesota could be a nice stack tomorrow against this guy. Yeah, like you said, Jeff, they're going to call up some arms, obviously, with the doubleheader. We have an Atlanta-Oakland game, and this is going to be interesting. R.A. Dickey has been lights out in his last couple starts. He's looking at 23.5% K rate, 167 average against, no home runs. Oakland has not exactly been on fire. But I don't know. I don't know that I want to attack R.A. Dickey. Trying to decide if I want to pitch him, because I'm not 100% sure yet. I think he's going to be worth an option. He is going to be worth it. Obviously, he's going to an AL park. So you do get the fact that he's going to face an extra batter. And then attacking Jarrell Cotton with Atlanta. They've been ice cold. Not sure if Matt Adams will play tomorrow. I don't know, man. I don't know. I very well could end up pitching R.A. Dickey against Oakland, but it does give me some concern about how, as a team, they hit overall versus right-handed bats. That is a little concerning. But they hold it 230 ISO on the year. 230 ISO on the year. So, at home versus righties, and obviously a home run per fly ball rate of 17%. The nice thing is they do strike out a ton. We know that. Fulte went out, had a nice game. 24.5% of the time. R.A. Dickey's strikeouts are up. So it's gonna be. I'm gonna be interested to see where their lineup goes. I can't give you a definitive answer on R.A. Dickey. I agree. Yeah, Marcus. I want to see what Vegas thinks too. But he's definitely in consideration. He is. Both sides, honestly. FanDuel, it's going to be a little harder. I think R.A. Dickey is more of an SP2 option on DraftKings than he is an only pitcher on FanDuel. But price relative, Francisco Liriano 6'7", R.A. Dickey 6'5", Derek Holland is 6'1". So you're looking kind of all around the same price. There's going to be spread out ownership. I don't know that many people play Liriano, and I'm interested to see how many people play Dickey. We have Matt Moore and Chad Kuhl. Matt Moore, every time we attack him, he does well. And every time we play him, he does terrible. How important is getting the win for pitchers? It helps. It definitely helps, right? You want to pick a pitcher that's going to get the win. But I don't think you pick a pitcher just for the sheer standpoint of he might get in line for the win. And the reason I say that is it only takes 2 strikeouts to make up for that win in DraftKings and FanDuel, right? The win is 6 points on FanDuel, 4 on DraftKings. Strikeouts are 3 on FanDuel, 2 on DraftKings. So if you have a pitcher that goes out and gets 8 strikeouts but doesn't get the win, and then you have a pitcher that gets 6 strikeouts, granted they pitch the same amount of innings, and gets a win, you have the same amount of points, right? And so typically I'll take the guy that has the higher upside in terms of strikeouts. Now I will say if, let's say you have, I'll just use Clayton Kershaw, Chris Sale, for example, right? Obviously we know they're both dominant. Let's say Clayton Kershaw has the more favorable matchup, even though both are quite capable. I may pick Kershaw over Sale for the sheer standpoint of he looks like he'll more likely get a win, but I wouldn't pick it solely based on that. I don't okay, so all in all, it shouldn't be the end all. Play for the upside, and a win is a bonus. It shouldn't be. You shouldn't play for the win. Let's put it that way. It should be a bonus to you. What can we say about the Giants, though? They have been swinging the bat incredibly well as of late. I believe they've won 4 in a row. They swept the Rockies. They just came into Pittsburgh and put up 13 runs. If you stack the Giants, which I didn't, and most people didn't, you won a GPP today. Denard Span. I don't have words. Brennan Belt had a nice performance. Buster Posey had a decent performance. Can we go back to him tomorrow? Chad Kuhl has been pretty bad versus lefties. 445 WOBA on the year, 1.8 home runs per 9. They're still cheap. Denard Span is 3.7, 3K on FanDuel. Brennan Belt is 3.7 on DraftKings, 3.3 on FanDuel. Joe Panic is 3.6 and 2.9. Hunter Pence is 3.2, 3.4. Brandon Crawford is 3.1 and 2.7. Buster Posey is the most expensive of them all. The lefties are the better hitters on this Giants team. Looking at Crawford, Belt, Span, Panic, right? Minus Posey and Pence, I would say those 4 are the best hitters. So things could line up. I don't know how chalky they'll be. They might get some ownership just because of what they did today, and the sheer fact that it's a sales slate and you're going to need some cheap bats. I could see Brandon Crawford getting some ownership tomorrow for his price and the fact that he's facing a righty. Denard Span is still cheap enough where he'll probably be some chalk. I kind of like the flip, though. I think even though the Giants are hot, from a tournament perspective, Pittsburgh does really well versus lefties as opposed to righties. They're better on the road than at home, but Josh Harrison hits them well. Andrew McCutchen absolutely destroys lefties. David Freese, notorious for hitting lefties well, and he's 3K on DraftKings and 2.7 on FanDuel. Jordy Mercer, you can look there. So there are some Pittsburgh bats that I think can get to Matt Moore. And that might be where I look instead of the Giants, just from a pivot perspective, because I don't think Pittsburgh goes high owned tomorrow. Tampa Bay, Baltimore, we have Jake Odorizzi and Dylan Bundy. I'm looking at some Baltimore bats. I really am against Jake Odorizzi. Reverse splits guy, at least in terms of the power, gives up 46% hard contact to righties, 2.2 home runs per 9. Now, he doesn't spare lefties either. He's sharing that love around with home runs. So, Jake Odorizzi is attackable tomorrow. I'm looking at Mark Trumbo, Manny Machado, Trey Mancini. I do like some Seth Smith leading off. He's only 3,300 on DraftKings. I'm looking there. Adam Jones is only 36. Mark Trumbo's 35. Wellington Castillo is down to 3K. There are some Baltimore bats that are the cheap side, for sure. We talk about dynamic pricing on DraftKings. FanDuel as well. I mean, they're cheap on both sides, right? Jonathan Scope, reverse splits guy, crushes righties. I think Baltimore would be a good stack tomorrow. Looking at attacking Jake Odorizzi. I'm not going to attack Dylan Bundy, but I'm not pitching him either. I'm not going to chance it with this Tampa team, but I'm not pitching him. Chicago, Cincinnati, we have Jackson Stevens making his first start of the year, and then Eddie Butler. Cincinnati stays hot at home. Adam Duvall has a home run in 3 of his past 4 games. Had another great day. Zach Cozart's back, obviously. I like Joey Votto tomorrow. I love Reds tomorrow. The problem is price. And the good thing is if you fade Sale and you play Reds, you're going to get them at mad low ownership because you can't do both. You're not going to get Reds and Sale unless you just absolutely punt your second pitcher and or you punt multiple positions, probably 3 or 4. So Reds will be pitchers against Baltimore. I don't know if I can pitch Odorizzi against Baltimore, man. They're too cheap. I feel like it's a blow-up spot. That's legit, Marcus. I like it. I love the Reds tomorrow. It's just a matter of getting them. If I fade Sale, you can do it, but don't know what I'm going to do yet. I might be really, really crazy and go Liriano Dickey in a line. Who knows? We'll see. And then Cubs against Stevens. You guys know my theory on attacking brand new pitchers. Let me pull up his minor league numbers. But you guys know I hate attacking pitchers that are making their first start or seeing a team for the first time. It rarely ever works. So this is Stevens' MLB debut. I'm trying to get his numbers. Loading up right now. Alright, so he's been in the minors for 5 years. He is 30-37 with a 3.87 ERA. 526 innings. He has given up 28 home runs, so that's a pretty good home run rate. Not a lot. 419 strikeouts, so not exactly a strikeout-heavy guy. 275 average against. 135 whip is concerning. And an ERA of 3.87. So, not a top prospect. Can possibly attack him with some Cubs. Do I want to pay for Cubs? I think I'd rather pay for Reds. to be honest with you. If he pitches anything like Castillo, stay away from the Cubs. Bro, I've tried telling Mike, I love Castillo, man. I think he's their top prospect for a reason. I liked what he did. Anthony Rizzo, no, I just don't want to pay up. If I'm going to pay up for Rizzo, I'd rather pay for Votto. Duval, I like him over, obviously, if Chris Bryant plays. Not going to pay 4K for Wilson Contreras. No, thank you. I'd rather play Tucker Barnhart at 2,900, who hits righties well and has been hot as of late if he plays. If Devin Mesoraco plays, he also has been hitting righties well. He's been a reverse splits guy this year. I believe Luis is still in the lineup, Jeffrey. I don't think they sent him down. I think they're just calling up another guy. Yeah, Duval's been on fire. I think you can play him. He's 5-1 on DraftKings and 3-7 on FanDuel, so you're paying for him, but I think it could be worth it. Miami, Milwaukee, we have Tom Kohler making his return. He's pretty bad. So I'm going to go back to a Milwaukee stack tomorrow. I don't know if we'll see Eric Thames, but if we don't, I'll go right back to Jesus Aguilar. He's only 3.8 on DraftKings, still cheap enough. And I kind of hope that they play Lewis Brinson tomorrow because he's extremely cheap on both sides. And that would be awesome. I would love to see Lewis Brinson in this lineup. Get him for cheap and get that stack. I don't know if Stephen Vogt will play tomorrow. It might be Manny Pena. So I would like that. I can pay for Pena again. I'll pay for Stephen Vogt if he plays. There's something about new scenery. Trevor Plouffe, when he went back to the Rays. Stephen Vogt coming to the Brewers, right? Jonathan VR might get the day off. Day game after a night game. Don't know. We'll see. I don't know how intense or how much restriction they have on him. But Tom Kohler is attackable. I will gladly go back to a Milwaukee stack tomorrow. They're not cold yet, I promise. They've been hot. They have a ton of guys that have been hot. And Ryan Braun got the day off. He's back tomorrow. If you want to pay for him, he's 5K, 4-3 on FanDuel. He's been amazingly hot. Travis Shaw cooled down a little bit, had 2 bad games in a row. He's going to get no ownership tomorrow. So, and then attacking Zach Davies, I think you can do it again. I'm looking at Ozuna, Yelich. Again, I think this has game stack potential. I think maybe I was a day early. And I think this game could be what I was hoping for today. I think Tom Kohler is worse than Volquez. And, well, I think Matt Garza is bad. But Zach Davies is probably a little worse. So, I think this could... Yeah, he's on a mental break. I don't know if Thames is going to be back tomorrow. I know he said he needed a mental break. He struck out 31 times in his last 37 plate appearances. So, definitely needed a mental break there. Philly, New York. We have Zach Wheeler and Jeremy Hellickson. Met stack was decent. No, it wasn't. It only scored 2 runs today. Right? Yeah, 2-1. Never mind. Jose Reyes was good. That's about it, though. I played Jose Reyes. Zach Wheeler's interesting. He's not been good at all in his last couple starts. At all. Not even close to good. Aaron Altier and Maikel Franco have been relatively hot. So that could be a 2-man I attack Wheeler with. I don't think I pitch Wheeler, but there are worse options. And Philadelphia has consistently been a stream option. Right? All year. We know he has K upside. So, potentially Wheeler. If you want to get cheap, he's 7,700. I still think I'd rather pay for Liriano or R.A. Dickey. I'd probably even go Derek Holland over Wheeler, but that's a K rate of over 80%. That's pretty much all he's done in his last couple of bats, Eric Thames. But again, I think we can attack Jeremy Hellickson. I'll go right back to Curtis Granderson, who stays hot. Jose Reyes has the second most home runs in the last 14 days for the Mets. Hit a triple today. He's been mad hot, and his price is not exactly jumping yet. So I could look there if he plays. Oops, I don't know why I have Granderson. This should be Jose Reyes. So I could look there. 25 on DraftKings, or FanDuel. His price has not jumped yet, so I can take advantage of that for sure. And then we have New York, Houston, and I believe, oh, this is on the main. Okay, so that was it for the early. Let me give you a recap real quick of where I'm at with the early. Chris Sale, Francisco Liriano, R.A. Dickey, and Jose Barrios would be my top 4 guys on that slate. The guys I want to attack, again, if I want to attack Josh Tomlin and Anibal Sanchez. I think that's a game stack. I'm going to attack Tom Kohler and Zach Davies. I like that as another game stack. And I think for contrarian purposes, attacking Matt Moore instead of attacking Chad Kuhl with the Giants, who have been mad hot, would be interesting. But I do preach all the time, ride the hot bats, and the Giants are hot. So we'll see. I haven't decided where I'm going to go there yet. I might eat chalk tomorrow. Hopefully it isn't bad chalk. So looking at this main slate, we got Jordan Montgomery and Francis Martez. Houston is worse versus lefties. George Springer and Carlos Correa don't fit that example. Neither does Jose Altuve. However, the rest of the team is not exactly lighting it up versus them. Jordan Montgomery has been pretty good, to say the least, over the last couple starts. 82 degrees, 70% humidity, and 15 mile an hour plus out to left in New York. Yup. Definitely looking at some New York bats. I don't know if I'm going to pitch Montgomery as of right now. He's interesting. He's very interesting. I think it would be a contrarian play to play him against Houston. No one will do it. But I'm cautious because I like some Houston bats. They didn't perform today. That's not like Houston. So might go back to some Springer, Correa. Maybe even if I just do a 2-man there. It's expensive, but they kill lefties. And then attacking Francis Martez, man. Yankees. Judge, Sanchez, Didi. 3-man is going to be good. Brett Gardner might be getting back on track. Jacoby Ellsbury's still cheap. So I can look there. I can definitely look at a potential Yankee stack. Washington, St. Louis, we have Gio and Michael Waka. I love Gio tomorrow. I love Gio tomorrow. Capital L-O-V like future. It's a Marwin day. Interesting. Okay. I'm not going to attempt to sing like future, but that's how I feel about Gio Gonzalez. St. Louis does not hit lefties at home at all. 126 ISO. The only concern I have is St. Louis has been mad hot as of late. They called Randall Grichuk back up. Obviously, he's been swinging the bat well. I'd imagine Jose Martinez plays. Paul DeJean, I believe is how you say his name, has been swinging the bat extremely well. He's been hitting lefties okay. Tommy Pham, been swinging the bat well. Steven Piscotty has actually been struggling versus lefties. Might see him rest tomorrow, and they'll put Jose Martinez in there. Jed Gorko kills him. So there is risk involved in this Gio play. Super risk involved with this Gio play. I know that they haven't been great at home, St. Louis, but they've been hot, and so that's the only pause for concern I have. But I do like Gio. He still's yet to give up a home run to a lefty. Might not see Matt Carpenter tomorrow. You might see Luke Voigt step in. Maybe they give Carpenter a day off. Who knows? Against the lefty. But that could be a stream option as well. If they load up with righties against Gio, I may get off of him. I don't know where I'm going to go yet. Obviously, the Nats against Michael Wacha. Different lineup without Trey. You got Goodwin and Michael Taylor, I'd imagine, that stay the 1-2 stack. Might see Stephen Drew again tomorrow. So, Daniel Murphy, Rendon. I mean, I think a Nat stack is in play. Michael Wacha has not been great over his last 3. He's limiting home runs, but he has a 42% hard contact rate. So, I'm definitely thinking about attacking him. Obviously, the other 2 double headers are on this slate, and those are Felix Jorge and Jason Hamill. Jason Hamill's been pitching well as of late. I don't know that I attack Hamill. I don't think I pitch him, but I don't think I attack him either. And then Felix Jorge, let's see what the numbers are on him. Yo, Tanner Roark is bad. Maybe he was a fluke. Hold on 1 second while I pull this guy up. So he is also making his Major League debut. Wow. This guy was born 20 days before me. That makes me feel old. Seeing that there, well, I guess there's already younger guys than me in the league, but shit, I always remember guys coming into the league, looking up to them, and now I'm sitting here older than these professional players. Decent minor league career, 36 and 29, 3.18 ERA, 622 innings pitched, so he's logged some innings. He has 503 strikeouts, so decent, not great. He's allowed 45 home runs in those 600 innings. He holds an ERA of, obviously, 3.18. I don't think I attack him either. Again, my theory on new pitchers, right? Teams facing them for the first time. I don't believe he's in the DraftKings system. I didn't see him, but I'll double check. I don't think I pitch him either, for what it's worth, though. But maybe a stream option. And then Carrasco and Jordan Zimmerman will get the start in the second game of the Cleveland Indians-Detroit Tigers. I'm more inclined to pitch Carrasco in the second game, knowing that they'll probably rest a couple guys on this Detroit side. Same for the Indians. They'll probably rest some guys there as well. And they typically do on doubleheaders. So I'm more inclined to pitch Carrasco. I think he could be worth the price. You're going to pay up for him, obviously. But that's not without concern either. Detroit plays well at home, especially versus righties. So cause for concern there. And then again, I still don't know if I attack Jordan Zimmerman. He had 5 straight quality starts up until his last one against San Diego. So he's not pitching bad. May have found his pitch arsenal back. So we'll see. Colorado, Arizona, Tyler Chatwood, and Zach Greinke tomorrow. Zach Greinke has been lights out in his last 3. At home this year, he's still posting a pretty nice record. And Colorado, away versus righties, not been good. They're not hitting a lot of home runs. They only hold a 130 ISO and 252 average. So I'm looking at some Zach Greinke tomorrow. I know he's expensive, 11.9. He just pitched well versus them in Colorado. So if you want to pay up there, I don't hate it at all. Yeah, I'm definitely looking at Carrasco too, Marcus. I'm with you. Tyler Chatwood, he's been pretty good on the road this year, man. 186 average against 284. He's always been much better on the road. That goes without saying, given that he pitches in Coors. But something's got to give here, right? You got a guy that pitches well on the road, and you got a team that hits really, really well at home. They're not exactly hot right now, though, the Diamondbacks. Chris Owens hit 2 home runs today. Other than that, not much happening. Got shut down by John Gray. I think Chatwood is in play tomorrow. He's 8K on both sites. I like it. I think he's a good mid-range option on DraftKings. I think you could pair him with another mid-range guy or pay up and pay down. So I do like Chatwood tomorrow. I do. And then I'm definitely not... I think I'm going to fade bats in this game, to be honest with you. I like both pitchers, so I think I fade bats here. Obviously, the one guy I would look at is Mark Reynolds and Charlie Blackmon. They hit righties better than lefties. Other than that, the team does not. Seattle, LA, we have Sam Gaviglio, who was obviously pushed back. He was supposed to pitch tonight. That got switched. And then Ricky Nolasco. Ricky Nolasco is still bad. Don't let that last start fool you. He's still bad. Robinson Cano hit another 2 home runs today. He is 5K on DraftKings. 5K on DraftKings. That's going to be hard to stomach. Nelson Cruz, I don't think I pay it for him. I like Haniger, I like Segura, and I like Gamble. So there, you can definitely attack Ricky Nolasco. I'm not going to attack Sam Gaviglio. I just don't think there's enough Angels bats to attack him with. But I probably don't pitch him. So that just ends up being a fade. And then finally we have Los Angeles, San Diego, Rich Hill, and Dylan Overton, who is a lefty, not a righty. Let me fix that. There we go. Dodgers have done well versus lefties as of late. They really have. So I think you can go right back to Dodgers again. I still think they are the best team in the league. Do I want to pitch Rich Hill against the Padres, who have been bad versus lefties? Holy shit. Rich Hill's 11-3 on DraftKings. Okay, hold on. Rich Hill's 11-3. Zach Greinke's 11-9. How? Zach Greinke's 9-4. Rich Hill's 8-6 on FanDuel. Alright, well, Rich Hill is a fade for me. Absolutely not am I paying 11-3 for Rich Hill tomorrow. So, no thank you there. Overton is awful. Yep, agree with you. So I can go right back to Dodgers again tomorrow. Cody Bellinger has no issue hitting lefties. Justin Turner hit a home run today. You might see Austin Barnes in the lineup again, typically playing versus lefties. It would be different to see Yasmani Grandal get 2 days off in a row, but we'll see. And Chris Taylor, of course. So definitely can look there. You might see some Kiki Hernandez and Franklin Gutierrez tomorrow as well, instead of Jock and Yasiel. So might get some lower priced Dodger bats in there as well that hit lefties well. So treat the Dodgers as if they are LeBron or Westbrook. Yeah, dude, they're hot right now. Best team in the league. I think their offense is hands down the most dynamic. So I'm with you. And then there's no way I pitch Rich Hill tomorrow. Absolutely no way. Not for 11-3. If he burns me, he burns me. But I just can't believe I can't find better pitching value than Rich Hill, especially with the upside of he just pitched into the 6th inning his first time, or 7th inning first time last game. So I can't go there. No thank you. No thank you. So to recap this main slate, kind of where I'm at. Jordan Montgomery, I'm thinking about it. Gio, I'm thinking about it. I love Tyler Chatwood. I really like Zach Greinke. That's my pay-up option tomorrow. And then Carrasco I like as well. Especially with teams on the second half of a back-to-back. Carrasco obviously will not be tired. The guys playing in that second of the game will be. So I like Carrasco for that reason. And then guys I'm attacking. Francis Martez with some Yankees. Ricky Nolasco with some Seattle bats. And Dylan Overton with some Dodger bats. That is where I'm going. So, just to give you guys a heads up, I will most likely, I don't want to say it no, but I most likely will not have a lock show tomorrow. Again, I'm heading off to an inspection for the house that we are looking at. Got to check out everything from the roof and all that, so I'll be doing that. I'll be with my dad doing it. He's a home inspector, so I'll be doing that. I'll let you know. I will update the sheets as I can. I might not be as quick as I usually am, just for that reason. So bear with me. If Sydney's available, I'm sure he'll help out as well. And then obviously Mike works. So Sunday, I'll be with family for 4th of July. So I will not have any sort of show Sunday morning, or I'll probably have a show Sunday night for the Monday slate. I can do that, but I won't have anything going on Sunday. I'll update sheets as I can there as well, but I'll be with family all day that day. So appreciate you guys understanding, of course. Make it a profitable Saturday. Make some money on this early. You guys know we kill early slates. That is our preferred slate of the day. I'm hoping to see another GPP takedown as we saw Thursday morning. So let's get back at it. Take down another early slate. Let's make it a Phenom day. And appreciate you guys tuning in. Have a wonderful night.